It is the fourth model of the 2023 Gridman Universe collaboration with Medaforce-powered. It is GDM03 and the frontrunner of the collaboration as a whole, Grid Universe, with a kit of Big Bang, Spark Shot, ACG Shot, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Confront, which is a brand new leg ability introduced to the game, which will buff all leg stats by about 20%, minus armor and heavy limit, if targeting an enemy with equal or more charge in their Medaforce gauge than you. Now, as the final model introduced in the Gridman Universe collab, Grid Universe is most certainly ending us off on a very powerful and very well-rounded note of powerful skills and new skills on top of that, no less, to really shake up the game and the meta for what it offers. But much like Full Power Grid, Kaiser Grid, and Grid Burn Knight, Grid Universe is most certainly not going to be pulling his punches either, especially since it makes it very clear from start he is going to be picking fights with a lot of the Medaforce-reliant nukers on the enemy team. Big Bang on his head part is a brand new skill being introduced into the game, and being completely honest, its description was rather confusing initially, so I'm not 100% confident in the translation of this. But if explained correctly, if you correctly target a part with the target's highest HP part, it is instantly destroyed. If you do not correctly target the target's highest HP part, you will instead heal them. If you are attacking a foe that is in meta change form, it will deal normal damage. Now, again, I'm not 100% sure or confident on the translation of this, but if the translation is correct and to be believed, this could be very dangerous, either to you or to the enemy, depending on the situation. And being completely honest, that will kind of tie it there with basic Destroy in terms of how much of a gambling skill this can be while on the field. Spark Shot on the right arm is a conventional shooting skill that works very similarly to Charge Blade in some cases. But instead of getting a damage bonus, much like Charge Blade would give you, upon activation of Spark Shot, it will consume a small amount of charge, but instead buff your heat and cool stats for your next turn by 50%. That means if you weren't already running faster than you were before, you would essentially be going Mach 1 at this point for that next turn once activated. If you have no charge to use, of course you will not get that speed buff. ACG Shot on the left arm is essentially the reverse of Ghost Shot and the reverse of Anti-CG as well. But simply explained, ACG Shot instead will check the target for how much bonus damage to give relative to their charge gauge. So that means that if you are fighting someone with a full charge and uses it on their first turn, ACG Shot will absolutely punish them and lay waste to them and show them that you are not allowed to use anything Medaforce reliant or even possibly use your Medaforce, because I am punishing you for how much charge you have equipped. In contrast to Ghost Shot or Laser, which check your charge gauge for the bonus damage. Biped Legs means that Grid Universe will have very solid coverage across all terrains, as Biped has arguably one of the best all-rounded legs in terms of terrain match and compatibility. And across the board, even though he is moderately light in some areas, he's definitely making up for it in others. In terms of armor, he's packing 3600 HP there for the head, right arm of 2750 and left arm at 2850, and his legs at 3750 as well. So he is kind of light on the armor. I'm not going to say that he's a glass cannon or that he's squishy, but some caution would most certainly be encouraged and acknowledged if you are going to make use of Grid Universe on the field. His leg stats are most certainly packing some very impressive numbers too, and very well rounded too at base stats. His base mobility at 928 is very, very good. Base mobility means he will have very good speed right from the start of the fight before anything else can kick in. An evade of 1106 also is nice, as it means he will have a pretty solid time dodging or grazing a lot of incoming blows. A melee resist of 919 is alright. I'm not going to say it's terrible, but it's definitely kind of in that nice little mid-range zone. And a shoot resist of about 1200 there also is very nice too, as it means that Grid Universe can most certainly hold his own when fighting anyone taking pot shots with him from afar. All this being said though, as a pure set score, I still do have to rate Grid Universe a pretty solid 6.5 out of 10. Not to say that he's a bad model or that he's not worth using, but his synergy is kind of weird. Big Bang is a very strange move, and like I said, I'm not 100% confident in its description. So if any of my Japanese watchers do have a much better description on how it works, please do correct me in the comments below, and I will add that to this video's description to kind of highlight and explain that a little more clearly. But with Spark Shot and ACG Shot, it makes it very clear, again, he is going to be picking a lot of fights with people that are Medaforce reliant. Whether that means they use charge plans, auto charge, full charge, or whatever the case may be, those are going to be his main targets. He's allowed to have have charge in his gauge. You, the enemy, are not. And the leg ability of Confront only ties this in even more, as it means that anyone that has a higher charge level than him he'll be able to have a boosted performance against to use either ACG Shot or Spark Shot and guarantee that he can strike him down quick. As mixed parts, though, I have to rate him a little more well-roundedly at about a 7 out of 10 in this case, in that even though Big Bang is a very weird skill to use, Spark Shot, ACG Shot, and Biped Legs with the Confront leg ability can be put to very, very good use depending on where you put them. Spark Shot if you want that particularly really good speed boost to use on harder skills such as Ghost or Ghost Shot or anything else that has a very low heat or cool stat. ACG Shot if you want to punish anyone that does like to capitalize on any kind of full charge boost or any Medaforce gauge in there, and punish them just for having a gauge filled at all, whether it be full or not. And Biped Legs, again, well-rounded, but the Confront leg ability means it will have a very good use for targeting anyone that has a higher gauge. This will make it very useful for fights such as enemy starts with full charge, or enemy starts with certain charge and you don't, right from start. But in all other situations, he is still packing some very good base stats across the board, making him, even though a very niche model, a very well-rounded model in what he offers to the team.